Rock here. Last time I discussed the importance of adapting your cyber risk management program to your organization's changing business context, or in other words, its changing strategy. As a reminder, COSO has 5 guiding principles, and we're on the second guiding principle of strategy and objective setting, which has 4 points. Analyzes business context, defines risk appetite, evaluates alternative strategies, and formulates business objectives. This week, I'm going to discuss a topic that challenges almost every cybersecurity leader I speak to, and that is defines risk appetite. COSO defines risk appetite as the amount and type of risk on a board level that an organization is willing to accept in the pursuit of value. Sounds simple enough, but I cannot begin to tell you how many times I'm asked about how an organization defines their risk appetite, but more importantly, their cyber risk appetite. Defining a risk appetite is necessary to risk management and to how organizations communicate and react to risk. Managing risk within the boundaries of a risk appetite, also known as the risk tolerance, should be consistently shared and addressed throughout the organization, as it provides the guardrails against which to manage risk. The terms risk appetite and risk tolerance are often mistakenly interchanged, but they are distinctly different. Risk appetite refers to the amount of overall risk that an organization is willing to accept, and risk tolerance is the variance placed around that risk appetite. For example, if your target weight is 200 pounds, but you would be okay weighing between 190 and 210 pounds, that 20-pound range is your risk appetite, but that plus or minus 10 pounds is your risk tolerance. Risk appetite decisions need to be able to cascade throughout the business, as risk decisions must be made at different levels or business units. This means that an individual business unit may have different risk appetite and risk tolerances, yet still aligned to the overall business goals. For example, a R&D unit may be willing to accept more risk because they want to fail fast and fail often than a critical and steady revenue generating unit. So what does this mean from a cyber risk standpoint? It means do not get lost in the weeds. Reporting a bunch of metrics without the appropriate context is meaningless and will only prevent you from being viewed as a strategic partner. You must be part of setting that context by defining the risk appetite and tolerance for your organization. However, risk appetite is not just technical. It requires conversations across the entire organization. The C-suite, enterprise risk management, and the cybersecurity steering committee should all be involved to tie cyber risk into enterprise risk, which is tied into your organization's overall risk appetite and reflects your organization's mission and values. Here are 6 things you could do now to start defining your organization's cyber risk appetite and tolerances. Number 1 is kind of obvious. You need to conduct a cyber risk assessment. You must understand and be able to articulate the cyber risk inventory that impacts your organization. You must also understand your cybersecurity program's current capabilities. Number 2, evaluate all your requirements. Take the organization's risk appetite as a primary input. Other inputs may include regulatory requirements, financial requirements, or operating requirements. 3, collaborate with stakeholders across the entire organization. The Cybersecurity Steering Committee is an excellent place to facilitate this collaboration. However, keep in mind that you may have to invite individuals who are not regular members of the committee to these meetings. 4, evaluate the implications of your board-level risk appetite statement, if there is one. If there isn't one, get involved and work with the C-suite and enterprise risk management to help define it. Some things to consider are: how will your cyber risk appetite statement cascade throughout the organization? Do you have to create multiple cyber risk appetite statements for various levels within the organization? Will your cyber risk appetite statement require fundamental changes, such as the implementation of a new multi-factor authentication requirement? 5. Formulate risk tolerances to establish the parameters and the required metrics to measure performance. 6. Establish a continuous process to evaluate and update cyber risk appetite and tolerances. Ideally, this should be tied to an at least annual risk assessment. Next week, I'll move on to the third point, which is evaluate alternative strategies. As always, I love your comments. Please keep them coming. And if you want to have a direct conversation, just shoot me a message. Thank you and have a great week.